Do we notice anything different? Emily has taken on a new form, and I'm liking this new form. I, in my opinion, think this is the best hairstyle I have ever had. If you know me, I've had a lot of questionable haircuts, hair colors, which, I mean, a lot of them were great. Let's be real. A lot of them were fantastic. But I think this one takes the cake. It's really good. Right? I mean, come on. Look at me. Look at me. I am cute. I want to start like a new series for my channel, and it's just going to be called Makeup and Ranting. It's pretty simple, where I do my makeup and talk about whatever I want. Whether you asked for it or not, I'm going to talk about it because, I mean, why not? Because I'm going to be real with you, sometimes I wake up and I'll be like, I want to film, but I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I think this is just a good excuse for me to put out a video and be like, yeah, let's talk about this thing that you guys probably don't care about anyway. I think Angel's all for it, right, buddy? Come here. Come here. Are you all for the new video idea? No, sir, you have to give me your opinion. You have to give me your opinion. What do you think? Yes, Emily. I'm excited for it. See? Angel's excited for it, so you should be too. So what I wanted to talk about today is not really like like a ranting topic. It's about the time I encountered aliens. Or at least what I thought was aliens. So I want to know, what do you guys think about aliens? Me? I think they're real. They are definitely real. We have so much evidence from, like, astronauts, I don't know, people from NASA. Like, we have so much evidence that they are real. Just look at, like, the things that they found on Mars, being like, oh, we found ice, which is the sign of life. Hello? Like, I'm sorry, you're stupid if you don't think aliens are real. It's harsh, but it's the truth. There's no way they aren't. Well, like, in all honesty, I don't think aliens are, like, humanoid green people. I honestly think they either look exactly like us, or they're just, like, tiny little organisms, like bugs or animals. Like, I don't know. I know you see in science fiction movies that they're little green things and they got big heads and they maybe don't speak our language and they go like, maybe they got tentacles and shit. But I just, realistically, I don't think that's the case. I really think they either look just like us or maybe with a couple of different features or just little tiny bugs. That's just what I personally think. They could be little green people. That would be kind of cool, to be honest. Like, if aliens were actually little green people and they came on their little spaceships and they were like, I would find it cool personally. So this story, it doesn't start with me. It actually starts with my dad. So, first things first. One night, my dad was having trouble sleeping. He was in the living room, I think, or he was in his bed. He was having trouble sleeping. He was still awake. It was around 3 a.m., the witching hour, and he was still up, just lying in bed, looking at the ceiling. And all of a sudden, he hears what he thinks is just a plane, like one that's pretty low in the sky, because it was very loud. But he says what was really weird about this supposed plane is that it was really, really low to the sky, and it was so loud and so close, it sounded like it was, like, right above our house. And he was like, that's just really abnormal for a plane to be that crazy low in the sky. So at this point, he's pretty confused. Like, hey, that plane is a little too low in the sky. Why is it that loud? But he didn't bother to go look out his window or anything because he was pretty tired and he was trying to go to sleep. But then he was saying, okay, this was so loud that I could feel the house shaking very slightly. And I was like, what? And So that's when he was like kind of pretty nervous about it. And then he says the next thing I hear is the sound of like a mechanical door opening. And he said it kind of sounded like that's not the best reenactment. He said that it sounded like hissing, like, as if steam was coming out of the door or something like that. And so he was like, the fuck? And then he said eventually the hissing mechanical door noises like calmed down. But then after that, he said he heard little mechanical beeps, like something you'd hear in like a old arcade game. He said it sounded like beep. And that's what my dad was like, holy shit, is this aliens? And he was pretty scared. And then kind of after that, once the beeping stopped, like the noise kind of dissipated and he didn't hear anything else after that. Side note, this shit, bussin', absolutely bussin'. You gotta try it. Anyway, back to the story. So, like my dad, I am a big believer in aliens. So, he told me, like, maybe a couple months later, he didn't tell me initially at first because I don't think he wanted me to be scared, but he told me, like, everything that I just said, everything that happened, and I was like, wow, that's gotta be aliens. And I was kind of excited. I wasn't really scared. I was excited because in my mind, that was just proven, like, oh yeah, they exist. They made a pit stop at my house for some reason. And although, okay, I was a little bit scared because I was like, what if they were like trying to abduct us? I mean, nothing happened, at least not to my knowledge, but nothing happened. So I was like, okay, maybe whatever these things were, they came in peace and they were just, I don't know, taking a vacation to New Jersey. I don't know why you'd want to come to New Jersey anyway, but they're just taking a vacation. So I was like, whatever. So here's the funny thing, not many people believed my dad's story. And my own sister, who was like a huge skeptic, she was like, that's bullshit. Aliens aren't real, which again, she's stupid. Sorry. But because like there's so much evidence that they are real, it's like, how would you deny that? How could you deny it? There's so much evidence that they're real. There's so many UFO sightings. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, so my sister didn't believe my dad's story, and she was like, you're crazy. There's no way that they exist. I don't remember what my other sister said. I don't remember if she was still living at home at that time or not. I don't really remember what my mom said. I just remember Allison's reaction because it was pretty negative. And she was like, yeah, there's no way you experienced that. But, oh boy, what she didn't know was that I had the same experience too, which I'll get into. Okay, so fast forward, I think like a year or two later, and no, this happened last year, I remember, because it was during COVID. I think it was in April of last year. I remember it very vividly. I was having trouble sleeping, as I often do. I was having trouble sleeping, and I was lying awake, and it happened to be, again, 3 a.m., the witching hour. You can't tell me that that's a coincidence. They planned that shit. But anyway, so I was awake, and I hear a plane, or so I thought. I'm just listening to this plane at first, not really paying attention, because I was trying to sleep, and in fact, I was just annoyed that this plane thing was so loud. I was like, oh, please, I'm just trying to sleep. But again, as my dad was saying in his story, it was getting louder and louder, so loud that I felt like I had to cover my ears, and something on my dresser was shaking. I was like, oh my god, this plane is so close. What the actual hell? But then I was like starting to remember. I was like, wait a second. This is what my dad experienced like a couple years ago. And then I was starting to connect two and two, and I was like, am I experiencing the same thing? So then I was totally awake at this point. I was excited. I was a little scared, to be honest, because I mean, aliens, they're a little scary. So I was like, I don't know what I should expect. Are little green things gonna come into my room? But I was just kind of holding my breath, waiting to see what would happen, you know? Plane noise, it's starting to die down, just like how it was in my dad's story. It's starting to die down, right? And I'm paying attention. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen next? The plane noise is dying down. I hear the mechanical door sound, the I'm hearing all that, and I'm like, oh my god. I was actually scared at this point. I was like, is there gonna be a green alien tapping at my window? So I was just listening, waiting to see what happens. The door noise stops, and then I hear the beeping. And I'm like, I just experienced the same exact thing my dad experienced. I was freaking out. I almost wanted to jump out of bed and get him and be like, yo, did you hear that? But I heard him snoring, so I was like, oh, alright, he's asleep. And I didn't want to bother anybody else, so I just relished in my own excitement alone. And I was like, alright, I'm going to wait till the morning, and I'm going to tell everyone about what happened, and they're all going to be like, wow, amazing, right? And I'm like all pumped. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to go to sleep. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. I'm going to tell them exactly what I experienced. Wake up the next morning, and I go to my dad, and I'm like, Dad, you'll never believe what happened last night while you were asleep. I told him, I said, remember that story you told me about how you thought you experienced aliens? I said, the same exact thing happened to me. And he was like, that's crazy. And I told him exactly everything that happened. I said, everything happened in the same exact order that you told it to me last time. I told him about the loud noise of the plane thing. I told him about the mechanical doors. I told him about the beeping. I told him about everything. And he was like, that's insane. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. We both experienced aliens. Look, I'm sorry. I think it was aliens. There's no way it was something else. What other explanation could it be? Because I'd like to know what you non-believers think it is personally. And I'll laugh and I'll be like, huh. And again, my sister was like, you two are crazy. And she wasn't having any of it. And again, I was like, how are you such a denier? We had the same exact story. We experienced the same things, just on different occasions. Like, how you gonna tell me that what we experienced wasn't real? Like, I was bamboozled as to I'm sorry. How could you not believe us? How can you not believe the aliens aren't real? And I'm just trying to get to her. Like, no, I was 100% awake. I was not dreaming. I'm telling you, I was having trouble sleeping that night. I was 100% awake. I remember going back to bed that night, being excited and falling asleep. Like, I was awake for the entire thing. I would like to apologize. I don't know what this is. I tried to be cool and do something really graphic, but it's not cute. But I don't want to start over because this took a while. I mean, we could get back to the story, just ignore this, alright? Just try your best to ignore whatever's happening over here. Get this! It happened again! But the only thing about this time was that it wasn't as intense because there wasn't no beep beep boop. Like, I heard, that, loud plane noise, but it wasn't as loud. And I heard the door opening noises, but I didn't hear any beeps. So I'm not exactly sure if it was the same thing. Maybe the aliens were feeling a little shy. It's okay. Maybe they were feeling a little shy. But Anyway, it was pretty similar, you know? Unfortunately, that would be the last time I would ever hear this ever again, because shortly after we moved houses, so maybe the aliens, they only like to come to that they only like to come to that city, and maybe they thought, it's not worth traveling the extra 30 minutes, so, I haven't heard it anymore since, and to be honest, I'm actually kind of disappointed. Like, sometimes I would purposely stay up in the middle of the night just to see, like, hey, maybe I'll hear it again, and, like, I haven't heard it at all ever since we moved, and it kind of makes me sad, you know? I never felt scared, well, maybe just a little bit, but, like, I never really felt super scared, like, anxious because of them, or whatever it was. Like, I thought it was cool. You know, they weren't abducting me, they weren't threatening my life. So, I always thought it was cool. And aliens, if you see this for whatever reason, I give you permission to come back and, you know, be spooky. I give you consent, I give you permission, you can do it. So, just come on, pull up. When I was younger, and I mean like a lot younger, like when I was a young child, I used to watch on TV all the time, or like top 10 UFOs caught on camera, or top 10 alien abduction stories, and I genuinely thought that those were real. Like, okay, maybe not all of them. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if I were to watch those same things today, I'd probably be like, that's a little fake. Like, an alien got me pregnant, and my baby's half alien, half human. Like, okay, that seems a little ridiculous to me. But, I mean, I don't know, I miss watching those kind of shows, because they were low-key really entertaining. Even if I knew some of it was fake, I was still very entertained, and I forgot, like, what channels they're on now, and whenever I see them, I always like to watch TV with my dad. I always convince my dad to be like, let's watch the X-Files, let's watch alien shows, and he's always like, no. But I think they're so interesting, it's so fascinating. We all have a morbid curiosity. You know it, we all do. We always wonder, I wonder what that gross thing is. Like, have you ever, you know, like, what does a dead body look like? What do aliens look like? What about ghosts? We all have that morbid curiosity that we just need to be satisfied. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that, because we all have it, you know? I think that's why I'm so into aliens and true crime, because my morbid curiosity just really can't be tamed. I am always looking to find something juicy, find something that maybe can't be explained, find something that isn't appealing maybe to the general public. Like, I like to dig, I like to explore. If you want to, I want to hear if any of you guys have ever had any sort of encounter with aliens before, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there are tons of other people who have maybe experienced something like this or similar. You know, I want to know. I really don't have a lot of people to talk about this sort of stuff with. Like, whenever I want to be like, hey, you guys want to hear about that time I thought I experienced an alien? Or, hey, you guys want to hear about this true crime story I discovered? They always are like, no, Emily, you talk about it all the time, and it makes me sad, because, like, I love talking about this stuff, you know? So, I want you to seriously let me know if you've ever had any experience like that, and I will 100% listen to it, because let me tell you, I am so into it. Like, I will listen. Especially tell me if you've ever believed you've ever been, like, abducted, because that I will be all over, and I'll be like, tell me the deets. Side note, to the people that love to just, you know, like, let's say if I want to talk to one of my interests to you, and you're like, I don't want to hear it, or I don't care, you are the worst. I hate you. Like, why would you do that? That's so mean. Personally, for me, I am always willing to hear about your interests. Like, if you are like, Emily, oh my gosh, I experienced this new game. It's so good. I'll be like, absolutely. Tell me all about it. Like, I think one of the greatest joys is hearing people talk about something that they're passionate about, because their face just lights up. You could tell how happy they are when they're explaining something that they really like. You could just see it in their face, and it's so wholesome. And the fact that you want to have the audacity to do like a frustrated sigh, or to be like, I don't want to listen right now, you're the worst. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do every now and then. I am a little bit like that, but I'm only ever like that with my sisters, so that's different because it's like the siblings thing. But seriously, you suck if you do that. I'm sorry, that's mean, but it's true. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I actually kind of like this a little more now. I dig the glossy lip, you know. It's a little cuter now that I've added the finishing touches. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. Please, like I said, share with me your alien experiences or anything spooky. I'd love to hear it. And let me know if you enjoyed this kind of thing where I just like talk about whatever I want. Let me know if you like that. I got lipstick on my teeth. That's cute. But anyway, that's it. Subscription is always optional. Bye.